Welcome back, guys. Sherry here. Lord have mercy, arrows. We need them, don't we? And we need them for everything. Now, guys, I'm not going to go over regular arrows too much because there are lots of ways to get them for free. And I will leave links in the description for several different methods. But I do want to mention, if you will go to Zora's domain and target a Lizalfo, all the Lizalfos in the Zora domain area will drop arrows. And they drop them in bundles of 5. So some of them will drop 5 and some of them will drop 10. But guys, these Lizalfos, they respawn after a blood moon. So every blood moon, you can just come back and collect more arrows. So even if you use arrows to kill them with, you're still going to collect well over 100. So now let's move on to some shock arrows. Now the best place to get shock arrows is from Lynel's. Now if you don't know how to kill a Lynel, or you're just a little anxious about trying to kill a Lynel, I'm going to leave a link in the description and I'm going to show you exactly how I taught myself to kill a Lynel. But if you do prefer to steer clear of Lynels, there are other places we can get them. Now you can buy regular arrows and all the elemental arrows except for ancient arrows in the shops. However, you might notice once you buy them and you go back, they never have any more. And that's because you probably have over 50 in your inventory. You can only buy arrows at a shop if you have under 50. So I'm going to show you some places that we can get all of these elemental arrows for free. So now let's just make our way on over to the Gerudo Desert. Now guys, I don't know if you're aware, but you can throw bombs at these wild seals, knock them a little silly, and they're so easy to catch. However, they're not as fast as the ones that you can rent in Gerudo Town. But let's just make our way on over to this skull encampment. And guys, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you some different camps that will drop these elemental arrows. But keep in mind, all of these enemies will respawn after a blood moon. So every blood moon, you can go back and hit these camps and collect these elemental arrows all over again. Now I am also using Majora's Mask. That will allow you to walk amongst the enemies. If you don't know where to get it, I'm going to leave a link in the description. But there is one more thing I'd like to mention. Before you engage in battle with any of these enemies at any of these encampments, save your game. That way, just in case they don't drop the arrows, all you have to do is go back and reload your game and try it again. Because typically at these camps, you can find anywhere from 5 to 15 arrows of whichever arrows they are dropping. And the arrows are going to come from the archers, usually. So you don't have to kill all of them. Usually just the ones that are shooting arrows at you are the ones that are going to drop the arrows. But here at this particular encampment, I was able to collect 10 shock arrows. Now I'm also using the Great Thunderblade, so if you guys don't know where to get it, I'm going to leave a link in the description. Now another place we can get some shock arrows is right here at this skull encampment in the Lynel area. Now there are a couple of jet streams here around this encampment. I like to use those and get up in the air. The rain will also help you. They won't notice you as much. And if you're lucky, you might even get to see Nadra. If you guys don't know how to farm Nadra, I will also leave a link in the description and I'll show you how to farm all 3 dragons. When I go into a camp and it happens to have a skull, I love to get on top of this skull because it's so much easier to hit the archers without them being able to see you. Plus, if there happens to be enemies inside of the skull, they can't get to you. Now here I was able to collect 20 shock arrows. This is why I say go ahead and save your game before you go into one of these camps. That way if they don't drop the arrows or they only drop 5 or something like that, just reload your game, try it again, and they may drop more. Now let's move on to some fire arrows. Now guys, fire arrows are probably one of the most easiest elemental arrows to get. And the best place to get them, I think, in my opinion, is the abandoned North Mine. These Lizalfos will drop anywhere from 35 to 40 fire arrows. But again, save your game before you get here. That way, just in case they only drop 20 or something like that, you can reload your game, try it again, and typically I will get anywhere from 30 to 40 fire arrows. Now I like to use ice arrows to kill them because typically you can just kill them with one shot. However, you can try to get close to them and kill them with a Frostblade or a Great Frostblade, but just make your way around through here and you will collect all kinds of fire arrows. And once again, guys, don't forget, they will respawn after a blood moon. So every blood moon, I will usually just come back and collect all of the fire arrows all over again. And if you guys don't know where to get a Great Frostblade, don't forget I'm leaving a link in the description, and I show you guys where to get some elemental weapons that will respawn. Okay, another good place to get some fire arrows is right here kinda on the west side of the castle, on this little bridge. Now guys, I like to do this at night, because there's a couple of moblins here and there is a bokoblin and he is an archer. Now archers don't sleep, but the moblins, they will go to sleep at 10 o'clock. So all we have to do is take out the archer, take out the bokoblin, and then we can sneak into the camp, get a sneak strike, possibly a one-hit kill, and it's just easy. Now these guys noticed me. I wasn't too stealthy about this at first. All I did was run away until the little question mark above their head went away. They will lay back down and go to sleep, and then we can sneak in on them. Now I could have picked up about 10 fire arrows here, but as you can see, mine are maxed. I usually get anywhere from 10 or 15 in this particular spot. Now let's just head on over to this skull encampment here in Tanager Canyon. Now I like to get up high in the mountains, take 2 of them out on one side, get on top of the skull, and then take the other 2 out. That way, the ones that are inside of the skull, they can't really see you or hear you, but if they do, you can always just climb back up top. Now I will usually collect about 10 or 15 fire arrows here. But another spot I go to is in the Elden Mountains. However, it's not really an easy spot to get to. Now there are quite a few enemies here. However, there are only 2 on platforms that I'm really trying to look for, because that's the only 2 that are going to drop the fire arrows. However, there is one archer, I guess, in the main camp on top. We have to take him out too, or he will sound a horn and let everyone know that we're here. But typically, I will wait until 10 o'clock. That way they all go to sleep except for the archers. I will take the one out on top first, because sometimes he will drop a bundle of just 5 regular arrows. And then I just jump down and take care of the 2 that are on the platforms. Now you need to be really careful here, because if you sneak in at night, there are bats that are under the camp. And if the bats see you or you wake the bats, then they will wake all of the other guys up. But I will typically collect anywhere from 5 to 15 fire arrows here. But now let's head on down to the Gerudo Desert, and right here at this skull encampment, we're going to find some more fire arrows. Just take care of these guys. I will typically pick up anywhere from 5 to 15 fire arrows here. But now let's move on to some ice arrows. If we go right here to this encampment in the Hebra Mountains, we're going to find 3 moblins. Now all 3 of these moblins have bows. So I decided to just drop 3 of my bows and then use the Great Thunderblade to disarm them, and it just made my life a lot easier. Now there are some bomb barrels here. You can hit those with a fire arrow, that may help. But I am just a big fan of using the Thunderblade, disarming them, picking their weapons up, and then I just wail on them. But these guys will actually drop their ice arrows in bundles of 10. And I literally picked up 40 ice arrows here at this encampment. Okay, so now we're in the Gerudo Highlands, but let's go ahead and head on over to this encampment. We're going to run across a few moblins, take care of them. They only drop their ice arrows in bundles of 5, but I think I have picked up anywhere from around 5 to 15 ice arrows here. Now we're still here in the Gerudo Highlands, but if you'll head on over to this skull encampment, Take care of these guys, and you're going to pick up another 5 to 15 ice arrows. And another spot that I like to hit, still in the Gerudo Highlands, you're going to run across some Lizalfos, but there's going to be some Bokoblins on platforms. Take care of those guys, and again, you're going to pick up anywhere from 5 to 15 ice arrows. Now, before I tell you how to get unlimited bomb arrows, let's talk about some ancient arrows. To get ancient arrows, you need to make your way to the Akala Ancient Tech Lab, and you need to speak to Robbie. Now, you're going to need regular arrows, but you're also going to need some ancient parts. Now, if you don't know how to get ancient parts, I'm going to leave a couple of links in the description, and I'll show you exactly how to obtain these. I'm also going to leave a link that's going to show you how to defeat any test of strength without taking any damage. Because the guardians that are in a test of strength, they will respawn after a blood moon, and this is a great way to stock up on some ancient weaponry and some ancient parts. But if you would like to see where to get unlimited bomb arrows, click here. And I would like to say thank you guys so much for over 14,000 subscribers. I appreciate each and every one of you. If you enjoy content like this, show me with a like. If you're new to the channel, I hope you consider subscribing, and I'll just catch you guys next time.